All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're loading up onto Summoner's Rift. This is our first match of the day for the Black Monster Cup Winter Qualifier number 4. Had to catch myself there. These teams rolling out the gates, and of course, for those of you unfamiliar with them, Team Fission eSports spawning in the bottom blue side. It is, of course, going to be Yellow Asian Guy in the top lane, Valkyrin, this time subbing in the jungle, Abu 222 in the mid, I am the IRS, the AD carry, and Indivisible will be the support.
And for the side of Maria's Maid Cafe, it's going to be Baby Zeus up top, Prototype Heaven in the jungle, a near attack in the mid, and Jummy Chu and rounding off the bot lane. And Fission eSports, not to be confused with Fusion eSports. Very similar.
Well, funny story behind that, actually.
Yes,
they thought they'd be playing each other in the expansion first round, and they kind of had a counter name.
And then the brackets changed, and they realized they were going to be playing Long Pro in the first round instead. So,
That still works.
It's still a cool name, Fission.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Oh, hello, little three-man invade right now. It's going to make Indivisible have to float on away. A couple of deep wards out before then. It was just sort of a line of scrimmage, as we're apt to see. Again, this game does count for a lot. The winner will move on for chances to earn a little bit extra cash as they get started up. Looks like it should be normal jungle starts all around, though, even with the wards out.
Yeah, Prototype Heaven actually canceled that last auto attack that would have killed that ward, so a little bit rough there, but at least he knows it's there now. And both teams,
knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, and both teams should be able to have a very educated guess on where the opponents are starting, especially Maria's Maid Cafe, who actually has a ward directly on the enemy red buff, so they'll know and be able to rule out that Valkyrin on the Fiddlesticks is going to be starting at that blue.
Should be a fairly obvious move that he is going that way, but there is a lot of trickery and mind games involved at this level of play, so players will take their moves up, and it's actually, Jummy Chu hanging a little far down here and thinking maybe they can bully out, but no, they're going to make their way to lane a little bit later than their opponents, and Nitarak and Abu are already there as well, so again, normal starts, junglers on the top side this time, and everything starts off nice and easy.
And usually, if the Sivir Soraka lane gets to the lane first, they'll want to push it because Sivir is very susceptible to being bullied out in lane, especially by a Corki. I mean, you can spell shield an ability every once in a while, but that Phosphorus Bomb is actually on a pretty low cooldown, so he can spam out that harass and usually be able to push a Sivir out of the lane. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, there really isn't a lot that you want to spend it on. There isn't like a massive single death-dealing spell on either member of the bot lane that you're going to want to shield out. Maybe save it for a tidal wave when he hits 6. But ooh, speaking of bubbles right there, nice one lands. And Jummy Chu is already low, so as he spends his heal to get his laning partner up a little bit more. But looks like they are already starting the bully game.
Yeah, this is definitely a lane that I and the IRS and Indivisible have a lot of experience playing. And you can tell just by the way that they weave in their abilities with each other. And I wouldn't be surprised if they come out a little bit ahead in that lane. Now, the big thing is if they're going to be able to transition that into a good mid-game, because while Sivir is not known to have individual power in the mid-game, she still provides so much team utility with her ultimate. So those mid-game teams are really exciting to watch, but we're in the laning phase now, so we're going to have to see who's going to have an advantage going into that.
They do find out Valkyrin, ping him down, realizing he just picked up his secondary buff, and that red ward over there is going to indicate to Prototype Heaven any movements that he makes towards this bottom side as he goes for the level 3 gank. And this is going to be completely undetected. Indivisible and I and the IRS have no idea this one's coming. No stealth available. They have to know it now. Bubble's not going to connect. Indivisible. Oh, he's down. That's first blood. Grab some fish, and that's going to be I am the IRS valking as far as he can away from that 3-man bot lane.
A really potent and creative gank by Prototype Heaven. I mentioned a little bit earlier, but a lot of Rangars won't focus on ganks very much early. The only lane that they can really gank is the bot lane, just because there's a little more brush, there's more targets, usually the lane's a little bit more pushed, and you have more follow-up because you have 2 players down there. But Prototype Heaven reads the situation well, comes around the back and gets a fantastic gank off, and you said it, they did not expect that at all or see it until it was way too late.
Well, and the perfect thing about it was they knew exactly where Valkyrin was, that he'd made a move up the top. He didn't let them know that. I don't think he actually saw Prototype Heaven coming that way, and you're right, it's not an expected move, and that was just absolutely beautiful. Easy to take out a half-health Nami like that.
Well, up in the top lane, these guys are just...
They're poking each other.
Slapping each other back and forth.
As best as melee champions can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yellow Asian guy should get the better at this come level 6, but it's really hard to count out a Maokai. And, you know, interesting thing, too, he went for the damage-dealing start. He has the Doran's Ring, and, you know, here we go. He is actually down a little bit right now in farm. He's not quite hit level 5 just yet. So, you know, that could go either way, but I very much doubt we'd see a solo kill between the two of these guys. They're very much veterans of the game, if not of the top lane.
Yeah, and Yellow Asian guy still had a potion left in his inventory, so he's going to go ahead and use that now, and he should be A-okay. Baby Zeus is having trouble getting through the shields, and he's actually out of mana to be able to harass a little bit more. So you'd think fire would be a little bit more effective against a tree, but I guess not.
Yeah, only in Pokemon. And Abu is actually getting shoved a little further under his own tower as Anitarak is really trying to bully best he can, is keeping himself in a reasonable lead. And there we go. They're starting to look a little bit more closely at this dragon. It would be very early to do, but Prototype getting his counter jungle game on and trying to keep Valkyrin away from this. They've identified a weak point with the substitution on Fission, and they're looking to exploit it.
The one good thing about having passive lanes, though, is that you're not really susceptible to being ganked. Your lanes are usually pushing earlier, and whoa, this is a...
I know, this is a massive roam here. Here it goes. They're going to get the bubble, but it's going to land on Prototype. Heaven Indivisible now has to burn his flash away, and they might commit to this one a little bit early. An ear attack is only level 5, and now they're going to get a little bit of help from Valkyrin. Actually, not even needed, so a little early to commit to that. They can muscle out a dragon here if they want, but it looks like they won't take Fission unaware.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a risky dragon. They took quite a bit of damage. They're a little bit behind in levels because of the ganks that they performed. Valkyrin, though, he's only level 4 as well, and Fiddlesticks' combat effectiveness isn't that great. Oh!
There's a collapse. They get a bubble. It's on Prototype. He might go down here. Looks like it will, and that's Valkyrin picking up the kill. That will be the indication to start this dragon, this time for Fission. A little bit overstaying here, and they could pick this one up. It doesn't look like Maria's Maid Cafe is really interested in taking this, but oh, Abu, got to be careful, but he's really zoning out the rest of this team extremely effectively.
Yeah, this is a great dragon pickup and a great collapse, and the big thing about that fight was Yellow Asian guy actually ran all the way down for that dragon, didn't use his teleport. He's basically sacrificing his individual farm to make sure that the team gets it safely and still holds on to his teleport. The big thing about that fight as well was because an ear attack came down to that bot lane for that gank, he fell a level behind. So Abu was level 6 for that fight, and an ear attack was only level 5. So all Abu had to do once they pushed them away from the dragon was place his ball on that choke point, and they didn't dare come near it because they would have got shockwaved, and with the rumble there, it would have been pretty devastating for them.
Easy peasy so far, as they did manage to secure that one up. Even getting first blooded wasn't too big a deal. The gold went over to Yuno anyways. Baby Zeus still keeping a fairly healthy lead here on Yellow Asian guy, but not enough for him to really sweat it too hard. So Abu back to lane, an ear attack. Everything's about evened out. That gold deficiency that he had is pretty much negated with the advent of the dragon, and we see a pause coming in. So this will give us a little bit of time to talk a little bit more macro level as the game goes on.
Yeah. Well, so far, pretty close game. It seems like the lanes are going more in Maria's Maid Cafe's side, but as far as the objectives go, we just saw Fission be able to pick up that dragon with a great collapse. So, but really, no team has a huge advantage at this point. And we mentioned earlier that both of these teams have great mid-game teamfight power with the Sivir ult and Rengar ultimate for the side of Maria's Maid Cafe, and then of course the Rumble Fiddlesticks Orianna combination for the side of Fission. So it should be a pretty explosive fight. The one thing that I always look for when there's a Fiddlesticks jungle in a game is how effective are his ultimates, because it may not seem like it, but getting off a good Crowstorm is really tough at the higher levels of play.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's incredibly difficult to time and place it in the right the right place and time, and it's all about drawing in the enemy team and trying to keep them a little overconfident. You did see that Maria's Maid Cafe got a little bit of help in that bot side just because of how overconfident Fission's bot lane has been. If they can turn that table, they can really start taking the fight to them, because it is not super difficult to counter engage with this. Looks like we're going to be back into the game, but yeah, I mean, that's what they have to do, is they have to get this team to start thinking they have a bit more of an edge. But losing the dragon like that, Maid Cafe is not going to be super confident that they can do something like that again.
Yeah, the big downfall for Fission though with that dragon is Yellow Asian guys having a really tough time up in this top lane, and He ran down, but his teleport is not available, and Baby Zeus has almost a level on him and is seemingly bullying him out of lane, which is not a good thing for Rumble. He can, once he gets the haunting guys, he'll be able to get through a little bit of that magic resist, but right now the sustain from Maokai is just making so he can pile on the harass and be in no danger of being pushed out of the lane himself.
Now, a lot of vision, a lot of wards being expended here in this bot side to try and make sure they have a track of where Valkyrin is at all times. It's going to help them out to be able to secure up their buffs, but all the same, a lot of warding going on in that side, opposite side of the jungle as well, this time for Fission. So Indivisible starts moving down to the bottom, Valkyrin moves up to mid. They're looking to try and take something to the mid game, but no towers just yet are really being looked at, so this could drag on a while.
Whoa, Valkyrin super aggressive.
Never mind, hello! Right to the middle with the Crow Storm, and Anitarak is already going back for this one. He didn't take nearly as much damage as he could have.
Yeah, that was a very bold gank by Valkyrin, and it was almost successful, but right at the end of the fear tether, Anitarak was able to flash away right as the shockwave from Abu came out. So if that shockwave had landed, he would have definitely gone down, even with the flash. But he's able to survive, so flash from jungler for flash from mid laner.
And an ultimate too. Abu couldn't get the shockwave off. You know, that was a really, really good reaction from Anitarak. Really just, yeah, as you mentioned, the end of the fear tether. I didn't think he'd be able to get away from it, but well played.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Valkyrin is actually completely maxing drain, so only 1 point in that fear tether, so it is only 1.25 seconds at this point in the game, so not quite as long. Once he gets more points in that, though, it's going to be a lot tougher for these guys to be able to escape from his ganks. And he's actually waiting in the bot lane, but they do see him, so he is going to have to go resign to the jungle again. He has managed to get a little bit of an experience lead on Prototype Heaven. Prototype Heaven has actually been focusing a lot on controlling vision across the river, and he's fallen a little bit behind on his jungle camps and experience, so that's allowed Valkyrin to sort of get some farm for himself.
On the other hand, though, Prototype's already gotten his boots 2 up, or boots 5 as used to be referred to as well, even if he doesn't need to finish the feral just yet. He's at that magical level where he can start to hugely make an impact. Yes, he helped already a couple times in the bot lane, but as you see, Indivisible and I in the IRS have stayed a lot further back. They're respecting this, and this might have been what Maria's Maid Cafe really wanted all along, but it's going to make it harder for them to get ganked, and any of these lanes is going to be difficult. I think the real key here is how does he perform once the lanes are over, but Prototype really doesn't have a whole lot to do for the time being, except pop a couple wards out. Dragon is up in 2 minutes, though.
Yeah, Dragon is up in 2 minutes, and I think Fission's really going to want to get this one because they're slowly starting to bleed out from these lanes. You can see the CS lead across all the lanes, top, mid, and bottom lane, and they're falling a little bit behind in CS, and so they need to make good use of this mid-game team fight comp that they've built for themselves and use that to gain an advantage in this game, because the longer this laning phase goes on, the farther the more their lead is going to get dwindled, and then they might just start falling behind. So I can imagine that they're going to want to make some aggressive moves towards this, set up some vision, and go for that dragon.
Yeah, really good individual effort here from all the members of Maria's Maid Cafe. They've been, you know, with the exception of the jungle, outplaying just a little bit, and you can see that the gold's now gone dead even. This next dragon is going to be incredibly important, you know, even more than a second dragon usually is.
It's hard to say which team is going to scale better into the late game because both of these teams don't have particularly strong late game. The one upside for Maria's Maid Cafe is that they have the Maokai, who is just really great going in the late game because he's got team-wide damage reduction, which is something that Fission doesn't have anything even close to be able to deal with that. So it's going to be hard to break through that.
Yeah, it's a little curious that he's gone. He went for the double Dorans before even getting the Catalyst, so now that he's got that item up, going to be a little late on the Rod of Ages regardless, but yeah, if they do hold out for the late game, it's not going to matter too much.
The Asian guy, he wants to back off. He actually used the Equalizer to clear the wave because he was just getting pushed back, and his teleport is available, but I know that he's probably not going to want to use that just to get back to lane. His turret's actually going to fall. Prototype Heaven uses the ultimate.
Oh, they're going to get the jump on him. Yellow Asian guy, down he goes. That's Baby Zeus going to pick that one up and tanks a couple of tower shots. Prototype and him should be able to polish this turret off in time. 3 seconds on the dragon, and you can see Fission making a mad dash over for that one. Get the pink ward out. Can they start it up, though? This is easily spotted out. Jummy is in the area. They have as well, and they're bringing a near attack as well to this party. See if they can make it happen. Turret goes down. They're not teleporting in. Baby Zeus just backing away, so they might just trade this objective, and it looks like Fission's happy to take it.
Yeah, they're not going to really be able to contest this, and that's going to be a great counter pickup there. But, I mean, they lose a kill up in the top lane, so it's a kill in a tower for a Dragon. And while that's a good slight victory for Fission, I mean, they have to make sure that they're not falling too far behind in these lanes, because this is the time when their team comp should be shining. And Yellow Asian guy, as soon as he used the equalizer to clear the wave, the communication. Whoa, Valkyrin!
Oh, Valkyrin! Wow, they really want this one. The wave's coming out. A near attack. He's low. He's down. He's drained. Valkyrin still staying alive. But for how much longer? The heal's down. He gets popped. That's Baby Zeus flashing away indivisible, trying to save his own life on that one. And Prototype both extremely low. Jummy now caught up, but Abu's down. That's a double kill. It goes over to Baby Zeus. And here they go for round number 2. I am the IRS. Valking in. Getting 1. Getting 2. That's a double kill for him. And they're looking for Baby Zeus. Can he get a triple? Oh, baby. It actually gets a shutdown. That's Yellow Asian guy picking that up, and they have a chance to push this turret.
A messy fight, but they still managed to come out on top. They did most of that fight without I and the IRS there, and he was able to come in at the last minute to pick up a couple cleanup kills, which was great for them. They should be able to get this turret, and that's going to be a huge move for them to be able to get a lead in this mid-game. And wow, Valkyrin, what a bold initiation, and that's something that you have to do on Fiddlesticks. Just go in, wreak havoc, do as much damage as possible before you die, and let your team clean up. Abu's shockwave only landed onto one person, only landed onto Prototype Heaven. So that just shows you, if they are able to get a little bit better ultimates off in those team fights, it would be pretty one-sided in that situation, because they still managed to win despite those facts.
Yeah, and I think the cleanup effort, too, from I Am the IRS was really key to that one. They wouldn't have been able to push the tower. They got a lot of gold in his pocket, and he was, not behind in CS or anything, but at 15 minutes, you want to look at finishing that Triforce. He's getting close, but he's not quite there yet. So now that'll certainly help him to be able to do that when he does go back, trying to defend this turret right now with the help of Valkyrin. And that was, as you mentioned, a really bold move, a really risky move, but it ended up paying off for Fission.
And we'll have to see what their next move is. Dragon's not up for a while. They've gotten the mid-tier turret, so this is a big time for mid-game team comps. A lot of teams, if they don't get a huge lead early on, or a blowout dragon fight, or a blowout team fight early on, they kind of falter and struggle to find moves to make once they start getting to the true mid-game. So this is going to really tell a lot for Fission, whether or not they're going to be able to close this one out pretty quickly by what moves they're going to make coming into these next couple minutes. If they just stay back and allow Maria's Maid Cafe to just stomp all over them in lanes like they've been doing thus far this game, they're just going to lose the lead that they just gained for themselves. They need to be proactive and make moves to sort of solidify this lead that they just gained.
Yeah, right now they definitely seem to be resting just a little bit on their laurels as they look to get a little bit more experience in farm. Not confident to take this, but as you said, you're absolutely right. They have to do something with this as a team, and instead they're just looking to try and muscle out a tower or two, but the mid one is already low for them as well, so they might end up just trading this one. This bot tower should get fired down in just a moment, but they need another mini wave to do it, and Prototype leading the charge all the way through the Fission jungle here. Valkyrin is not really able to do much on his own, and they're bringing a near attack and to the party.
Yeah, this could be a little bit dangerous for Ian the IRS down the bot lane. He's got a gank squad coming for him. Does have backup though. Yeah.
That was close though. They probably could have dove on him if they hadn't seen Valkyrin. It might have been something really bloody there. But as you mentioned, Maria's Maid Cafe time and time again just keeps elbowing their way back into this gold game. They're only down 2,000, but they also have slightly better scaling here.
Look at the CS difference on the top lane. That's 60 CS.
They have to deal with Baby Zeus. Yellow Asian guy cannot do this on his own. They have to take him down. He's 2 levels ahead. I mean, that alone is making it a split push game.
Yeah. And you look at the gold difference as well. It's about 1,000 gold difference, so it's not as bad as it may appear by the CS, but that's still Maokai. He's just going to keep scaling and scaling and scaling. He's picked up the Rod of Ages for himself. Once he builds that magic resist, it's going to be it's very magic damage heavy team comp from Fission. The only physical damage they have is just a little bit from Corki, but Corki is primarily magic damage too. You can see just by his boots choice. He went for the Sork boots for the magic pen. So Baby Zeus could be confident with just building magic resist for this game, and he's going to be A-okay because he's going to block much of the damage that Fission is going to be able to put out. So that's something that they really need to worry about.
Yeah, it's interesting that they did choose to kind of put all their eggs into the AP basket, but meanwhile on the other side, Maria's Maid Cafe manages to finally knock down that mid turret, so it is 2-2. Still a slim gold lead in the pockets of Fission, but that could change any time as the gank squad starts making its way down bot. They will think twice about that one with Dragon coming up in another 50 seconds. Want to be able to secure that crucial bit of gold.
Yeah, a lot of deep vision, and that's the benefit that you gain from winning lanes, is you really are the ones who are the controllers of vision, and you're putting it on the other team to sort of gain it back, and that gives you some advantages. So Fission is going to do their best to gain this back. They have a power spike here. Valkyrie's probably going to hit level 11 before this next fight. Yellow Asian guy's level 11, Abu's level 12, so they have all those high impact ultimates available and powerful. I think that Maria's Maid Cafe is going to want to fight this. But
yeah, well, they need Baby Zeus to do it. They have the teleport available. So does Yellow Asian guy. But you see Fission is interested in trying to bait this fight out. And they're trying to win the vision game here. And it looks like they're just going to give it up. So Maria's Maid Cafe not even going to contest this dragon for the third time. It's going to go over to Fission eSports.
That is fantastic patience. Maria's Maid Cafe, most teams want to fight that. But they're realizing that, hey, we're ahead in most other aspects of this game. We're ahead in CS in most of our lanes, top lane by a lot. We have a little bit of turret advantage because of the damage that we have on that bottom side turret. So why risk getting obliterated in a team fight against this super mid-game heavy team comp when we can just give this dragon up and try and make gold up elsewhere? So really patient, really smart call from them. But, I mean, still, they're going to start falling behind. So now they're the ones who need to make the moves, and they have to make use of the advantages that they've gained elsewhere to try and leverage back some of this gold.
Yep, they're banking on Baby Zeus right now, and he is coming to the mid lane to try and make this a real 5v5. If they want to fight under turret, don't think Fission is quite that confident just yet, but they don't know that the fight is just about dead even for them, so they'll play this a bit conservatively until they have a big enough wave. Prototype waiting in the wings, but he's still only level 10 right now. And the IRS getting stunned up by a near attack, and he's not going to want to go back into that one in the event that they take a full fight. So they're going to back off in mass here. Decent little advantages that they're gaining. So Fission is kind of alternating between being proactive and being this more conservative team. And, well, I don't know, Zumo. What do you make of it?
What I make of it is that Baby Zeus is huge right now. He's got the two core items that he really wants, especially against this team comp. Just with the Rod of Ages and Spirit Visions, he's going to be so hard to tank down. He's got a 5-man squad coming for him right now, though. So this is, I don't know, Fission's going to have to be really quick because they got 5 people coming for them. And if they don't get the jump in these fights,
he's actually defending this really well. They know this is happening, so Fission has to back away, barely gets a pot shot on the tower, and they might actually be caught. There's no tower here to jump back to, and it's going to be Indivisible getting the wave out, but it's going to be a little too late. Has to burn his flash. There goes Baby Zeus to get the jump in. Baby Zeus is going to take down Indivisible. Valkyrie going in with the Crow Storm, but he manages to do nothing but get killed. Took a little bit of a bite out of the health bars, where they get 2 for 0. Maria's Maid Cafe satisfied with that one. They're going to go right on to mid, or maybe... No, they're still hunting. This is going to be an early Baron attempt.
Whoa.
22 minutes in. They should have the damage. They have a Rengar.
I don't know about this.
It's not over yet. I Am the IRS is here. They have the stun on. An ear attack going on. Deathfire Grasp. Babu has to flash away. I Am the IRS still solo defending this one. Can he take down? Not quite. The heal goes down. Baron still half his health. This is such a tense move right here. Baby Zeus going on to IRS. The shot. Double kill for Abu. Here they go. I Am the IRS backing away, but Chummy is down. That's a triple. He managed to pick it. Can he keep going? They find IRS. Baby Zeus still too big. They can't quite take him down. Abu is so low right now, but he's staying on the back line, and they get the pickup that goes to Indivisible, and what a huge turnaround on the edge of that one. Fission eSports marching down the mid.
A huge shockwave from Abu just tore that fight wide open. An instant double kill, followed by a near instant triple kill immediately after, so that is just super impressive. I mean, you gotta question a little bit, going for a 21-minute Baron from Maria's Maid Cafe with not a very good Baron fighting composition. None of these champions do much damage to the Baron, and at one point, a near attack sort of peeled off to try and push a Boo away while the rest of them kept in. They need to make the decision to either, hey, all peel or all go for that Baron, but they got trapped in the corner, and Fission just capitalized on that so well. And that's going to be a huge win for them. After they lost that team fight in the top lane when they were the ones who got initiated on, they should be feeling pretty comfortable now.
Well, you see, they tried to pick off a Boo in the early stages. They knew he had that shockwave available, but an air attack just didn't have enough in the bank to do it. So he goes for the DFG, forces the heal and flash at the same time. But then a Boo comes back in and he lands that 3-man shockwave. I mean, that was the turning point in the fight, and that is what Orianna can do for your team.
Yeah, so now not only is a Boo all the way back into this game, also I Am the IRS is starting to pull ahead. And we can look at the total gold here while we're paused. Baby Zeus is still out front. He has the highest total gold in this game. Well, actually, sorry, I Am the IRS is 10 gold ahead of him. But that's pretty impressive for a top laner to have that much of his team's gold. And they're really going to rely on him to be sort of that damage soak. Because when they're able to get him initiating and getting him to soak all the damage, like we saw in that fight in top lane, they're going to win. But if the side of Fission can get to that backline with Equalizer, Crowstorm, Shockwave, then it's going to be really tough for them. And that's where sort of the downside of having a lot of the gold on your tanky top laner is. So really, it's basically who gets the initiation off. Who's going to be the one to engage these fights. If Fission engages, they're in a great spot because that's what they're made to do. But if Prototype Heaven and Baby Zeus on Maria's Maid Cafe can get the initiation and like stop Valkyrin in his tracks or stop a good Equalizer from being able to come out, then they should be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. And so far, that's the win conditions. They've identified it, but they have to be careful not to take these unnecessary risks. Now, Baby Zeus might be in a bit of trouble as well. He's still got a tower to fall back to. It's almost not even been touched right now, but Abu is just melting health bars even as big as Baby Zeus. And this might be the chance for the tower, but they're not going to make it easy. Maria's Maid Cafe coming up here in mass, but they're not defending it just yet. Actually, getting the run in, trying to get this one. Prototype, look at how fast he is. Talk about a chase, and they go on forward, but they don't land a single bola. So it looks like Fission will be able to back away from this one. A swing and a miss 3 times in a row.
Really tense moment, and I actually think Maria's Maid Cafe could have come out on top of that fight. But after that last fight, their confidence is shaken. They were a little bit afraid to pull the trigger, but a tense moment nonetheless.
Yeah, and this is, speaking of tense, it's continuing this way. This tower really had a lot taken out of it here, and if it does fall, this might be Fission trying to move on to take the fight. They don't have the greatest offensive engage, but if they get jumped on, they really have a way to fight on back, and we've been seeing it right here. We'll see if Valkyrin does anything absolutely crazy like one of those massive crow storms again. Actually, they're just going to give this up, so again, Maria's Maid Cafe going to back off, and I don't know how long they can keep affording to do this.
Really keep an eye on Valkyrin as team fights draw closer, because positioning of Fiddlesticks is so crucial in some of these fights, because it's you need to get off a good Crowstorm, and the part of getting a good Crowstorm off is getting a Crowstorm off at all. So he's susceptible to being CC'd out if he gets a Crowstorm off and starts casting it in the wrong place or anything like that. He can get silenced by Soraka, knocked up by Maokai, so he's got to make sure that he's the one that finds crisp initiations for his team.
So what you're saying is the really important thing to do is to land those skill shots.
I guess you could call Crowstorm a really wide skill shot.
Oh boy, that was painful. I Am the IRS going to net himself another kill. They are able to polish off Soraka easy. That, boys and girls, is why you don't go ward alone.
Yeah, warding is a team effort, especially when you're facing this this 5-man squad of Fission who are just roaming across the map as a group and just taking objectives and making picks left and right. So this is what you need to do. They're focusing on their strength for their team comp. They say, hey, we're really great at team fighting in the mid-game, so let's just group up and force these team fights right now.
Yeah, and it's working for them so far. 5,500 gold ahead as they polish off yet another dragon. Total control of that particular monster this game, and they're not really separating up at all. So maybe go back to lane for just a minute. They have one outer tower remaining. That is one more, of course, than Maria's Maid Cafe do. But where do they strike next? I think no one's going to want to try to go for the Baron, at least for another couple of minutes. Prototype really needs to start landing those bolas to be effective.
Yep. He had some good initiations really early on, but the last couple times that they've attempted, he just really had sort of cold feet, and you could see the hesitation in his movements, and that's one of the reasons why he's missing those bolas, because he's not confident that he's going to go in even if he lands Ebola. And that's not the right mindset to have when you're looking for initiations. I can actually see Fission wanting to go for a Baron here because they do have Fiddlesticks. So Fiddlesticks is actually a great Baron taker just because two of your team members can focus on fending the other people off while Fiddlesticks actually healthily is able to take the Baron.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough moment for that very squishy fish right there, but
yeah.
They'll be all right for the time being. You know, this is the typical Baron dance, but really the key here for Maria's Maid Cafe seems to be Baby Zeus off the back of him if he can really continue to step up, but even so, they're able to melt through his health bar, and a lot of the times they just ignore him.
Yeah, and that's sort of what they have to do. They got to ignore him. I mean, he's not doing that much damage at this point. And they really need to focus on putting the damage on the back line because a Syndra that's left alone or a Sivir that's left alone can do quite a bit of damage.
I think we've seen this before, but not in this lane.
Yeah, they just moved it on down to the bottom side.
Yeah, it's top lane solo combat right there. So meanwhile, over by the Baron, the remaining members of Maria's Maid Cafe try to make a move in the direction of Baron, but you could tell they weren't really interested in actually taking it, maybe get a catch out. They're all going to back in mass here, and this might be a chance actually for Fission to push onto something. They're going towards the top. I don't think they'll get a tower out of this one, but they really are just spoiling for a fight at this rate.
Yeah,
or a Baron.
This is really rough for Yellow Asian Guy, though. He is... Oh, he's going to teleport in, so they're all inning.
Yep, they're going for this one. Prototype's here in the back. They have vision of him. He's not going invisible just yet. Baby Zeus here teleporting off the back of the ward, but he's by himself. How long can he sustain? Apparently, that's a while. Going to burn his flash up. Yellow Asian Guy and Abu are going to double team up for that kill, but they are extremely low, and Asian Guy has to flash away. So Summoner's down, all for the price of a tree, and they have to be extremely careful how they handle this next engage. Setting up the Fnatic.
Oh, Crowstorm!
Here you go. Crowstorm's in. Valkyrie, he's not going to connect, and he gets E'd back in, and they're all extremely low, and there's another ultimate burn. They know there's Prototype Heaven. They have to back away from this one. There could be a massive cleanup effort, but again, Maria's Maid Cafe hesitant to do it.
Yeah, that was a great move by Valkyrie, but he actually delayed his flash, maybe out of fear of flashing out of his Fiddlesticks ultimate. I'm guilty of doing that every once in a while, being a little bit too trigger happy with my Crowstorm and flashing before it goes off, canceling the animation. He actually delayed his flash, and it gave a near attack the time to be able to flash away and out of the fear.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
That could have been a good shockwave, but his team wasn't there.
Shockwave. I was going to talk about quick reactions. Abu didn't quite have it there, but a near attack has been absolutely phenomenal at not just saving his own skin, but that of his team. And, you know, for how bad it might have looked there for just a moment, Maria's Maid Cafe, they did what they wanted to do. Baby Zeus sacrificed to get them off the Baron, and you could see how long it took them to take him down, and that's the backbone of their team fight right now.
So, a little bit awkward of a time here for both squads. Baby Zeus trying to be a one-man army, but obviously not working out for them. They killed him. They didn't use any ultimates, but he actually did quite a bit of damage to them before he went down. So he went down in flames.
I thought they'd follow up on that. Prototype should have been able to get a couple of pickups off of it, but as you mentioned, he seems to have suffered from some confidence issues going into this game. And, you know, also the fact that you look at the AD carries, the bot lane in general, it's just so skewed right now in favor of Fission that Prototype and a near attack really have to step up to make these fights happen.
Yeah, I mean, a near attack has the damage. He went for that second item Void Staff, so his mid-game damage is really spiking. It's just, they have to be able to find the initiations where they can allow their backline to do damage without being in too much danger.
Mm-hmm. Now, they are getting bullied out a little bit here, Fission is, as they get pushed away. There's all 5 members of Maria's Maid Cafe, but they've got no wave to contend with, and they have to worry about that big one building up on their bot side. So, Vision still firmly controlled on the Baron pit by Fission eSports, and you just see Maria's Maid Cafe struggling to come up with something to do. They're not so far behind they can't take a fight, but they're just not sure of how to accomplish their win conditions, it seems.
Yeah, and they...
They are. Here we go. Jump onto Valkyrie, but they get the fear off. It's a lot of damage onto the Fiddlesticks, though, and they're going to be able to take him down. That's Baby Zeus in the front line. He's a tree. He's a wrecking ball. Something like that. Yellow Ocean Guy is going to answer onto Jummy Chu. You know now, extremely low, but Baby Zeus still taking all the damage. A near attack. They find IRS. They find Asian Guy. That's a shutdown. Baby Zeus is going to come up huge here. It's a double kill for a near attack, and only Abu and Indivisible remain standing. 2-for-1 trade, and it was so back and forth for a moment, but this could be a tower.
Yeah, and that was a fantastic initiation because they caught Fiddlesticks out, piled on the CC, so he wasn't able to use his Crow Storm.
They're not done. Indivisible, he's already down. They did trade Baby Zeus for that one. Abu is still here. He does not have the Shockwave, but he's able to bully.
Whoa!
Gets the pick onto a new attack. Can he pick the double? Almost a
got him!
Turning away, and that's Abu Poo-2-2 with a triple kill, and they're pinging for the Baron.
What a fantastic play, and not tunnel visioning on the Rengar, flashes in to pick up a near attack, knowing exactly how much damage he's going to be able to do. And now the ultimates are starting to come back up for Fission. The cooldowns on their ultimates aren't that long at this point. They didn't even use the Crow Storm. Shockwave almost back up. Equalizer almost back up. So now that they're going to have the advantage of the vision on this Baron, they should be able to take it because there's still 10 seconds left on the top laner, mid laner, and jungler. And there's no teleport up for Baby Zeus either.
Yeah, so Baby Zeus going to have to run as fast as he can. IRS is doing a pretty good job zoning Jummichu and Yuno out of this one, but there will still be a fight whether or not it goes particularly one way. I guess it's pretty much all written down in stone here as this Baron's about to get polished off. Abu, Valkyrie, IRS, Yellow Asian Guy, all there. Indivisible coming up at the very end, and they were able to secure that one. So that buffs off the table for several more minutes, and this means that Fission eSports has a firm grip on this game for pretty much the first time.
Yeah, that Baron buff is going to be huge for them. They don't have a very good Siege comp, but with that Baron, they should at least be able to apply pressure to some parts of the map. The big thing here is going to be when Valkyrie is able to finish that Zhonya's Hourglass. He's got about 1,000 gold in his bank, probably a little more after this dragon is down. After that, he'll still be about 1,200 gold away from that Zhonya's Hourglass, so he really needs to make sure that he builds that quickly, because as you can see, if he gets caught out at the beginning of the fight and gets CC'd, before he can get that ultimate off, it just spells bad news for their team fight. They were still able to clean that one up off the back of a Boo, but still, they have to be really careful with how they react to the engagements of Maria's Maid Cafe.
Yeah, it just seems like Maria's Maid Cafe, though, they rise and fall with this Maokai. Baby Zeus, when he's in these fights, they do so well. Once he's already taken out of it, he just, so goes the team. It just turns around so massively, and you could see Abu, without any fear of the tree, just kind of was able to run and clean up everything, and, you know, that alone pretty much guaranteed the Baron. So 5 members here from Fission eSports going to make a move around this bot side, try to clear as much vision as they can away from this, and they're going to start looking at more towers as the game goes on.
Valkyrie actually decided to go for the distortion boots as a rush, so getting that flash cooldown reduced is really valuable to Fiddlesticks, because he really relies on flashing to initiate, because you see him using that Crow Storm really aggressively when he can, and immediately flashing to try and get a little bit of that damage, pick up a fear on a high priority target. So before he gets that Zhonya's Hourglass, making sure that he has those distortion boots going to be a pretty big deal.
It makes sense considering how close he's been able to picking off targets, and you know, it's really been on the reaction times of a near attack. He's going to have to adjust that a little bit more as this goes as well. So they'll be able to clear out some things, back away nice and easy, just keep the waves pushed up and continue to move into this late game. All they really have to worry about at this rate is Baby Zeus, and you know, if he can soften them up enough for the rest of his team to take a bite.
Baby Zeus is pretty huge right now, but he's got to start conceding some of that side lane farm to his AD carry and his mid lane, or else they're just going to fall too far behind and they won't have the damage to support even the biggest of front lines. And you can see him, he conceded a little bit to them. Now he's back up there trying to get a split push on. It's a little bit safer for him because he's not really susceptible to being caught out, because look at him, he's huge.
Yeah. Well, and he's really the only one that doesn't have to worry about that, but you see a pretty massive effort here from Fission, just going all 5 members deep, saying, no, you have to fight us on our terms. It'll be on your turf, though, as they look to push this one in. There's a wave at their backs, and they have the damage to be able to secure this. The Baron buff is on, and they might just try to take the straight all in. It's going to be rough, but they're going to take it nice and methodical for the time being. Wait till those spells are spent. They're going to be pushing on forward. Here we go.
Oh, Crow Storm.
They're still waiting. There's the Crow Storm.
He silenced it.
Find it. Oh, he canceled. Wow, okay. That could have been bad, but you know. Oh, boy.
What a play from Yuno, wasting the flash. Well, not wasting it, but utilizing the flash to cancel the Crow Storm. That's huge, because by the time the Crow Storm is up again, the Baron buff will be almost gone. They'll have a little bit more time to regroup, so that was, what an incredible play and presence of mind by Yuno to go in for that one. They should have cleared out vision a little more, but still, great play by Yuno.
Yep, they're pretty much relegated to just trying to clear this out. But yeah, coming up pretty big to keep his team from getting monstered right there for just a second. Big wave pushing on the bot side. They know they have to send someone back, and the game pauses as you see an air attack looking to go back to base.
It's an exciting game so far. This one's really close. I mean, AK gold lead for Fission seems like a lot, but judging by these fights, it's really not that much. And
it's so intense that Yellow Asian guy's computer crashed.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We'll take a look at what's going on with the disconnect. But okay, he's already back in the game. That's nice and excellent for that one. But so despite a couple internet issues, Fission is really doing an awesome job of shoving this one in and keeping it to their advantage. Yes, it's close. Yes, it's tight. But they're still taking the better fights overall, and they're still slowly wheedling their way into the space. And they're going to go in for round 3 now. And
Abu222 is pretty massive right now as well. He has enough gold, or almost enough gold right now as for Zonia's Hourglass, so that's a full 4 item Oriana. That's really scary to deal with, because not only are those shockwaves pulling you in for the equalizer, they're also doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and they're poking away at this tower pretty solidly, despite the excellent clear effort too. An air attack every single time he gets Scout of the Week up, he's been able to land it on at least 2 targets. And that's about all you can really ask from your mid laner. And it's been excellent, but now it's a 5v4. They don't have Baby Zeus. They're going to have him suspend a teleport if this goes on. He's actually going to start wandering that way. But, everything is sighted here on the spot. Whoa, Shockwave, they're going to land it. The equalizer. Wow, they pick up some and then some. They keep on going. It's a double kill for Yellow Asian guy. Can he get the triple? Looks like it's going to go over to I Am the IRS, and they'll get a tower besides. Baby Zeus not in the picture. And Fission eSports capitalizing, looking for an in-hit.
Not even needing the Crowstorm. Abu222 has just been the MVP of this game with his Shockwave. 7-1-9. The one to salvage the bad fights and start the good ones. You really got to hand it to them, and it looks like they're going to look for an aggressive finish here. Baby Zeus valiantly trying to hold it off, but it's going to be close.
Yep. Oh, Yellow Asian guy this time. No, you're not going to get me. I got my Zhonya's on. Baby Zeus tanking everything he can, but I don't think he can stand this forever. Has to burn a flash away. They are still pretty low here, and Fission is actually going to take the safe route and back off, but they did manage to pick off everything down there to 1 Nexus tower, so that's all they're leaving their opponents with. Again, individual efforts have been great from Maria's Maid Cafe here, but I don't know how long they can keep up this defense.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Now that the inhibitor's down, that opens up so many more opportunities for Fission. Baby Zeus, that was a valiant effort to defend those Nexus turrets, so Fission couldn't close out the game. He soaked up so much damage and was able to clear out all those minions, so he was the sole reason why Fission just wasn't able to push straight through and finish off that game. But now the goal lead is really big, 12,000. The confidence is super shaken from Maria's Maid Cafe, and I mean, it's just going to be really rough for them to try and fight back into this game. It's going to have to be Baby Zeus finding good engagements and Prototype Heaven getting those good engagements onto Valkyrie. But now they have Zonia's Hourglass. All 3 of those AP guys from Fission have the Zonias, so I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit about some of the players that have had really big impacts in this game in the different roles. It's kind of been a puzzle piece here. You look over on the side of Maria's Maid Cafe, and you've got Baby Zeus coming up pretty huge, and well, they're going to lead the charge here and find Indivisible, who's actually caught out just a little bit. They should be able to polish him off here, but he's also got a pretty solid health bar as well as some shields, and they might bait this one in. The Dragon fight ends. The Baron is off, so they can keep going for this one. Baby Zeus in here. The team hesitant to follow up. They avoid the equalizer, but still, they don't want to fight this one. Baby Zeus might go down. Yellow Asian guy's pretty low. The Zhonya's is on, and I Am the IRS will pick up the tree for one more kill. They keep on going. Yuno's in trouble. She's on the run. Can he get away? It's a double kill. That's I Am the IRS once again, and they're chasing him all the way out. There's a massive wave up top. Everyone is backing. They can push this in right now, and it looks like they're not even interested in additional inhibitors. They're going to try to end the game right here and now, Zumo.
Yeah, they don't have Baby Zeus, so they don't have that front line to be able to soak up the damage. Valkyrie's just using that Crowstorm, and there's a surrender.
Yep, down it goes. That is the Nexus popping away, and it is a 41.5 minute in, 20-10, 70-56k gold, and Fission eSports turns up the heat and ends the game.
That was just an impressive performance. It was a little bit shaky at some points, and you really got to hand it to Baby Zeus for, don't want to say single-handedly, because you have to give some credit to the rest of his team, but really keeping his team in the game. You look at the CS numbers at the end of the game, almost double the CS of Yellow Asian guy, but Fission, especially with the shockwaves of Abood just really coming out on top of a lot of those team fights and able to close it out. So well played by them. They will move on to play, I believe, UCLA CG is the team, and the winner of that automatically qualifies for a spot in the Black Monster Cup winner. So that should be our next broadcasting game. I'm really looking forward to that one.
And of course, for everybody wondering where the other teams in this qualifier that aren't being broadcast, Standby FaZe receiving an automatic bye to the next round. They'll play the winner of Phyrexian Dawn and Pokedigio, which is pretty much an amalgamation of everything you enjoyed about your childhood. So we'll see how that game turns out. But again, big props to everybody. Maria's Maid Cafe played extremely well individual effort, but just got beat down eventually by Fission, and we'll see how the next game goes. Guys, we will be taking a quick break, throw it over to some tunes, but please enjoy, and thank you for being patient. We'll be right back with the Black Monster Cup Winter Qualifiers number 4 after this.